And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second half of the broadcast here tonight. We just wrapped up with ESL Open Cup Europe number 229, and now we returned with ESL Open Cup Americas with our second and last kind of half of the broadcast here. Just catching up on what events did occur earlier this week, a couple of days ago. And you may be wondering, hold up, have you not updated the match order right now? Didn't we just cast MaxPax versus Clem in the best of 5? Yes. And now they're playing again. I mentioned before that there are some key European players that do stay up late into the night to compete in ESL Open Cup Americas. Clem and MaxPax are some of them, and they've made it all the way here to the semi-finals. Now, in the previous broadcast for Europe, we were able to cover some of the quarterfinals first, into the semis, into the finals. Unfortunately, here for the Americas broadcast, I actually don't have any quarterfinals matches available. I would love to. I would love to cast more. But when it comes to the replay pack that I was provided, for those that are curious, ESL, they provide replay packs to all the casters, like ourselves. You know, Pig gets them, Loco, Winter, you know, all the casters get them. And unfortunately, for this pack, we only got the semis and the finals. So I would have liked to have, you know, sucked my teeth into a little bit more of this region's weekly, but alas, we only have a couple of matches here, or a couple of series, I should say. Regardless, I'm happy to indulge and embrace them. This is also another reason why I want to get back on, like, you know, my regular sleep schedule, so I can cast this live, so I can, you know, cast all the games. Not as reliant for other casters to submit their replays, as it is going to be Clem versus MaxPax in a best of 3 to determine who makes it on into the grand finals. Let's go. Just need a moment here to set things up. Un momento. Por favor. As game 1 is going to be taking place on Alcione. Oh, wait, we're loading back in. This is where the series ended previously and where it begins now. And again, both Clem and MaxPax, they go back and forth. Clem was just our ESL Open Cup Europe champion, and merely hours later, they're facing off here in the Americas. And we'll see if history repeats itself, or if MaxPax can get his revenge. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcione, we have our French Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. Ooh, it is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax from the land of Denmark. And again, both MaxPax and Clem, they are grinders when it comes to the European regions. They play in every Open Cup they can. They stay up deep late into the night. It's like 5 a.m. for them when they're playing this tournament, by the way. They're going full degen. But they are regulars here, and they often do take the cake. The difference is, of course, is for ESL Open Cup Americas, Koreans are also involved. Less so in the European region. We saw Björn earlier today, but that's only because Björn is staying in Canada at the moment. That's why he was able to compete in ESL Europe. Outside of that, we rarely get any Koreans compete in the European region. It's different here in the Americas, where because the Americas, the server is situated kind of in a more neutral ground, the Europeans and Koreans can face off against each other with a bit of a more fair playing field. As for now, MaxPax getting across the map. Gonna be, again, being an annoyance here for Clem. Clem is gonna be going for another double gas opener, so double gas into a faster factory. I'm getting a bit of deja vu. Now, we just saw a double gas opener on Alcione. We just saw Rax into factory, into an earlier Widow Mine, towards a drop, towards early game aggression that did a little damage. I don't imagine it's gonna be the same build again. I'm sure we're gonna be seeing something different. I'm sure. Until then, just catching with the chat. I guess you could call this match the climax of the tournament. Pigeon Wrench, you're an animal. I mean, you are an animal, true. I'm shaking my head. Shaking my head, Bobby. Shaking my head. Clem plus MaxPax, like, bullying other people out of money in the weeklies. I mean, they are some of the dominant forces in the European region, for sure, for sure. I mean, again, they're usually the champions of the EU weekly. And they're not strangers to champions of the NA weekly either. as it is going to be a Stargate opener back at home. Meanwhile, Clem is not opening up with the early Widow Mine. It is going to be a Cyclone-based opener instead, which means we're not rushing into the starport as quickly as we did before. So it's going to be a very different opener. This could be a double Cyclone drop, actually. Okay, so Clem is mixing it up. And back at home, MaxPax opening up Stargate instead. I mean, this map is a little bit larger, and it looks like MaxPax just hoping that maybe Clem is going to be less aggressive this time. We'll see how this turns out. Reaper dips in, shield battery is ready. The Reaper will get a full scout of the main base, and we do get eyes on the Stargate. Clem is aware of the tech. For them just staying up 3 hours longer, for the others to staying up 4 hours longer, so that since they're not in the finals. Ah, true. Yeah, usually a lot of the other European players, they just go to bed. They just like, yeah. I can't remember the last time like Lambo or Hearthstone or Hero Marine, like they usually don't stay up for the NA weekly. They just go to bed, get some rest. They wake up when the sun comes out. Animals, I know. It's crazy. Go to bed when it goes down. Aye, aye, aye. As Reaper does dip in. We spoke about this double Cyclone drop opener, and we do have our 2 Cyclones, but interesting, we don't open up Medevac. I guess because we did scout the opener of choice, because we scouted the Phoenixes, we're just staying back at home, just building up a Viking Cyclone cannon instead. So a much more defensive setup here from Clem. But he is building up an extra round, and soon he will have enough to move out. Speaking of, here comes that move out, and again, that's quite a lot of DPS available. Now, MaxPax unfortunately doesn't have control of the Xel'Naga. He doesn't spot the move out, does thankfully have a second shield battery on the way. Phoenixes move out, and they do come across some of the army, as the Marines are kept hidden. The Marines are kept hidden in the back line. Second shield battery does finish up in time. And Clem is going to be backing off. Okay, he decides not to commit. I do think there was potential. I do think, especially with the Immortal Soul on the way, I mean, there are 2 shield batteries, so there's potential for damage here. Regardless, Clem will back off, and we're going into a 3rd CC. Interesting. So we're building up towards a longer game. Phoenixes, they threaten the mineral line, and I'm sure that's what Clem is more concerned about. Does get home in time, will protect his base. And we're gonna be entering a bit of a longer, later game. MaxPax takes the 3rd, so is Clem. Whew, okay, we're calming things down, pal. Calming things down. Pieces they dip in, and it looks like we do catch a Viking. Viking goes down. We keep the pieces alive. Nice pick up here by MaxPax. Behind this, the Bay is on the way, so it looks like this is the beginnings of Phoenix Colossus. Let's go. Phoenix Colossus on the horizon here for MaxPax. We saw this on Amphion earlier. Be honest, in Canada, did he feel like some pancakes? Shout out to the people letting Emperor Fubo know in the chat. But yes, he is there for the Shopify bootcamp. Isn't just Bjorn, but it's also Hearthstone, Scarlet, Lambo. They're all there. The Rebels are all together. And fun fact, we were looking at the open stage of DreamHack yesterday, and we'll have a look at it today as well. It's brutal. The open stage is brutal, Bobby, for the Shopify players. I do feel bad. I do feel bad about it. Smurge. Basically, 3 of the 4 players are in the same group in the open stage. Feels bad, man. Back in the day, we had a bunch of Team Liquid team kills. Now, the Shopify team kills are real, as we do catch another Phoenix. Or we do catch our first Phoenix. Phoenix goes down, and Colossus are building up back at home. Colossi are amassing. And Clem was just trying to situate his 3rd base. Again, there is the Observer right over the main army. So if there was any kind of move out, MaxPax would be aware. As he sees the army chilling back at home, we're just throwing down a massive gateway explosion, +1, charge, Extendable Lancer on the way. We're teching up. We're chilling back at home. MaxPax feeling pretty safe and secure. We do scan. We do catch the Observer. Observer does go down. See the The Vikings trying to be in position, trying to zone away those Phoenixes, but they hit the natural. Pick up 2 SCVs. Back up from there. Vikings again trying to keep up. 4th base on the way. We have taken additional gases, so this is going to be enough to get into a 2nd robo, to get into double Colossus production, eventually double Disruptor production as well. We're building up to it. As opposed to Skillets we casted earlier, who did skip his gases and go for a more charge heavy composition instead. Interesting, instead of a 2nd robo, we have a Templar Archives on the way. Okay. Could be working towards Colossus and Storm instead. Phoenix is moving out. Once again, they threaten that 3rd. Getting an SCV here and there. I mean, it's no major damage from MaxPax, but he's just dipping in, getting like 1 or 2 SCVs here and there, dipping out. Doesn't lose too much. Doesn't lose anything. As again, the tempo of the game has slowed down a bit. Clem does move out with a double drop, is spotted by the Zealots. MaxPax is aware, gets in position. Archons are amassing, Blink is on the way. Storm has not been researched yet. Silver Lines on the Colossus for splash damage. Now, what's important as well is that Clem has been building up this Viking count from almost the entire game here, from the beginning. 9 Vikings, pretty hefty amount against Colossus. The Archons will help against that. They can help zone them away. If they get too close. It's MaxPax taking a 5th. Oh my god. Based on the horizon. And we're going to be able to chase away the double drop for now. Pushing into tanks is going to be a different story, but we're bleeding out a lot of Marines. Marines are shaved off. Then MaxPax does retreat. Now, it looks like the Temple Archives was just for the Archons. We did not research Storm. We are going for the 2nd robo and Disruptor production. Okay. So again, looks like we did just want those Archons to help support the Colossus against the Vikings. If the Vikings stack up, the Archons, they can go crazy. The downside, of course, is that they have a bit shorter range. Archons do have to get up close and personal with the Vikings. But there is potential. Prism dips in. And the turret not done in time. Unfortunately, with supply blocked. Oh, that's an awkward supply block. 1 Zealot gets warped in and won't get much done. Gets an SCV. MaxPax was stuck at 188 supply at the time. As broken out, pushing in towards the 4th base. Trying to get into one of those tanks. Nova does connect, but ooh, it's not going to be enough. The SimCity too good. And MaxPax does retreat. And that was a brutal choke point trying to break through. And Clem holds. At the same time, Zealot run around the right-hand side. The tank is exposed. Nice pick off there by MaxPax. Gets a tank for Zealots. Rotating around. You can see the trades here. Getting 2 tanks in total. Bleeding out a couple of gas units from the side of MaxPax. Oh, catching another tank. Another tank goes down. We dive off the ramp as well. Nova goes off. Not quite connecting. Forced to retreat. Oh, and these Vikings are going ham. They get a Colossus. They get 1. They pick off every single Phoenix. And MaxPax does have to retreat. Does pull back, going for a 3rd robo, going into triple Disruptor production. How many Disruptors are we on? 5 so far. Soon to be 7. Soon to be even more than that. As we do try to force our way off the ramp. Not a bad Nova. The choke point working against Clem there, but the Colossus are going down one after the other. The Vikings, they do clean them all up. The Colossus go down. And again, it's awkward for both players to really engage. Them trying to come in for a flank. But again, it looks like MaxPax is slowly breaking through. Oof. Okay, we have to pull back. Pulling back away from those tanks. The Disruptors do hold their own. Up! Grazing the army. eventually MaxPax is forced to retreat. Whew. And I love immediately we see Clem throwing down those buildings once again, making sure that those choke points stay a problem here for MaxPax. Again, with such a zealot heavy composition or a ground heavy composition, it's just so awkward to break through this. Oh. But Clem does rotate around, he exposes his tanks. Yeah, 1, 2 tanks going down, we bust into the mineral line. Novas do connect. Will we come in for a flank? And can we get on top of those disruptors? It looks like we can. Up! We're trying to. 1 disruptor goes down, another big warping of zealots coming in from behind. The Nova's less than ideal, but we're setting up for a surround. Okay, we set up the surround, we recall the disruptors, we save them just in time. MaxPax gets the hell out of there. Saves most disruptors, impressive. Zealots make it out as well. And MaxPax has every other base on his side of the map. On 94 probes, an impressive economy. Again, making 3 disruptors at a time. We're on, how many? 7, soon to be 9 disruptors. Who needs Colossus? Not anymore. Oh, these Zealots, they get a lot done. Forcing better friendly fire. At the same time, mass DTs, they take down the Planetary. Oh my god! How many Dark Town? 10! Planetary goes down, tanks as well. They blink away. Now, thankfully, Clem can replace that Planetary, but now it's an orbital, and we lost 18 SCVs. Finally, MaxPax gets some damage done. He's able to cripple the economy, or at least hindered in some way. Liberators have arrived, but they're exposed. They're going down one after the other. There's not enough freedom. The Nova's becoming too good. Planetary not done yet. 24 SCVs go down, and MaxPax, he can keep fighting. He can keep trading. Not backing off. DTs are coming back in. Clem was keeping up for so long, but not anymore. That's a kill on the orbital. The kill on the base. We do have to respect the Liberators. We do back up for now. He got 32 SCVs. Oof. Nice snipes out of Clem. Gets 3 disruptors. Oh my god. Clem. Very impressive. But there's still just too much on the ground. The Chargots come in. We force the pickup. We take down another tank. And another. There's 2 more tanks full. DTs, they come back in for the 3rd time. Getting more SCVs, forcing the scan. Thankfully, the army is somewhat in position. And Clem is down to 51 workers. Trying to reestablish his bases, but MaxPax just not letting him breathe. And just non-stop aggression here from MaxPax. So important as well that he maintained his disruptor count for so long. Double drop moves out across the map, forces the recall. Oh, the disruptors! Splits are, oh, they're okay. We take 1 over to the face, but we shut down all the disruptors. Nice clean up there from Clem. Very nice catch. And what are we down to? We're down to 2 disruptors. 2 disruptors left, but we have a bank. We have a lot of money to work with here. We're making 3 Colossus at a time now. MaxPax is maxed out once again. And Clem needs time. He needs time to rebuild. Ooh. Barely snipe another tank. Zealots, they wreak havoc in the mineral line. 14 SCVs go down. Yeah, as we hit the southern base as well. GG gets called, Clem gets pulled apart, and MaxPax takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. You need more freedom, true. GG again. Clem, for the most part, he was able to keep up with the rotations of MaxPax, but there was a certain point where, if you remember, when Clem was trying to rebuild his stack defense at his 3rd base, and he rotated towards the north. Instead, MaxPax hit the same location again. He was able to just keep the tank count low, maintain control of kind of the map as well. At no point was Clem ever able to move out. Like, MaxPax is so good at this as well, just being hyper aggressive and maintaining map control. And I think we saw that double drop 1 time for Clem. He was only that 1 time able to break out. Outside of that, he was just stuck defending back at home and struggling to defend. Ooh. And with that, Clem takes the lead. Sorry, MaxPax takes the lead. And can Clem fight back? Can he fight back here as we're getting into game number 2? We're going to be loading into Site Delta. Let's go. Site Delta is going to be coming up next. Again, MaxPax needs one more win here to get his revenge. As a reminder, earlier today we did see the finals of ESL Open Cup Europe, and our Terran player was the victor there. He was the champion. But now here's that rematch in a best of 3, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our Danish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Storm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. Can he fight back? He needs to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is Clem. Este Eistan. MaxPax is maxed out. Clem is clemmed out. Ah. What does that mean? Este Eistan. Let's go. As we are settling in, we do have our SCV going the long way around. It does avoid the main probe scouting pattern. Getting across the map, we do have our first racks back at home. And it is going to be a double gas opener here by Clem. Now with this SCV, we can go for an eBay block at that natural. And I believe that should be what we're going for. There it is. eBay has been thrown down. So if this was the last patch, this would lead into MaxPax pooling some workers and forcing a cancel on this eBay. On the new patch, the most recent one, we should be seeing MaxPax take the unnatural natural instead. We'll see how he does the purchase. Okay, he pulls the boys. Gonna be pulling the boys, will focus on the eBay. So this is quite a nice start here for Clem. Does force quite a lot of mining time. SV comes back in. Oh, trying to get some more building time on the eBay. And we'll get a couple of seconds of that, but we will force a cancel. We will force that cancel. Up, getting low. Does force a cancel. There's the Nexus, and MaxPax can get back into his build. It's going to be quite delayed, but we'll get into it. Back at home, Clem opening up with his factory follow-up. Did go Reaper first. Did go for said Reaper. Moving out across the map, gonna catch a probe. Adept will come out in time to defend the main base. We'll see if we can get some more damage done. As we're going for our take of choice, it's gonna be another Stargate opener from MaxPax. Okay, we saw a lot of Blink play earlier in the finals of ESL EU, but here in Americas, back-to-back Stargate play. Okay, MaxPax taking a different approach in the rematch. Back at home, Clem going for his CC on the high ground. He's expanding. Reaper dips in. Adept is in position. The scout is denied. He clemmed all over himself. God. Aye. Calm down. Will Cyril be at Atlanta, or is he too busy being G.I. Joe? He'll be at Dallas. Yes. It's DreamHack Dallas, not DreamHack Atlanta, as a heads up. Atlanta was last year. It's all in Texas. It's fine. It's all the same. True. Same place. As our CC is being landed. Clem is following this up with his drop. Again, it's going to be a Widowmine-based Marine drop, or Marine with Widowmine to support. We do have our Cyclone as well, followed by a Liberator. This was the same build we saw in Alcyone in those finals. And we have seen this wreak havoc and get it out of hand. Back at home, what do we have? We have a Shield Battery at the natural. We have a Stalker and Adept. In the main base, we're looking a little bit more bare bones, but okay, we do have a Shield Battery as well. We have our Shield Batteries in position. Clem is slipping into the main, going for the mineral line, and he will get some probes. Gets one so far. probes are going down. Cyclone poised to dive into the natural. The Phoenixes dive in, and they will clean up these Marines. Ooh. Yeah, 4 probes in total. But this is going to be forced back. And Clem doesn't dive in. He's going to get some extra probes, though. 7 probes going down. Oh, my God. 8? Can we get 9? Yeah, not quite. But 8 probe kills, not bad. It did cost us some medevac, unfortunately, and the other big thing here is that this is a much faster cleanup this time from MaxPax, which means we can counterattack. And what do we have at home to defend? We have some Cyclones and Vikings in production. We did go tank first. I'm pretty sure a big reason for this is because, remember, Clem didn't scout the tech early on. He didn't know if it was Blink or not. Against Blink Stalkers, the tank would be ideal. Against Phoenixes, the tank doesn't do much. But the Marines are ready to defend the natural. We have our Cyclone Viking in the main. Oh! And we do catch an SCV and a mule. Not bad. Again, Marines can be abused a little bit because they don't have stim. They are vanilla Marines. Ooh. So we do catch a Viking. Behind this, MaxPax going into very fast Colossus production, working towards the bay. To Colossus before the 3rd base, a very safe transition here from MaxPax. Most players would expand first, but MaxPax staying on 2 bases a little bit longer, making sure he survives the push. And Clem is pushing. Because he made that early tank, he has to make use of it somehow. 3 probes go down to the lib. To that Liberator. Clem rotating around. He's looking for the 3rd base, the 3rd that doesn't exist. Not yet. And MaxPax has his first Colossus. Clem once again checking. Does push forward, runs into the main army, does siege up. At the same time, Phoenixes, they catch reinforcements. Adept does go down. And we're going for the mineral line. SCVs are going down. MaxPax just has to make sure he doesn't overextend with the Colossus. Oof. Speaking of, just calm down. Phoenix is running out of energy, racing back. They can now help here against the Vikings. And Clem backs the hell off. The Observer does confirm this. So MaxPax is aware, and he's hoping to maybe catch a Viking. Or any stray unit. Coming back in, getting 3 Marines. Getting the Mule as well. And we are going for the tank! A juicy pick up here, and it looks like the repairs are maybe just barely enough. Oh my god. Tank does survive. Just barely, Poppy. Phoenix is threatening another dive. 3rd base is finally being taken. Now, this 3rd is a little bit late here for MaxPax, but again, he was just playing it very safe. If he took it earlier, then Clem would have committed and most likely would have denied the 3rd anyway. So it's very safe play here from MaxPax. The downside is that Clem actually has an economic lead. His 3rd base is being taken faster than that of the 3rd of MaxPax. Likewise, the worker count in favor of Clem as well. So he has a nice economic advantage. Behind this, MaxPax already on 3 Colossus. Oh, this is going to be a very strong timing, actually, going for a gateway explosion. It's going to be an 8-gate setup here for MaxPax. Temple Archives on the way, charge as well. Phoenixes, they hit the main. Not much to pick up. Getting some SCVs. 2 SCVs go down. And some reinforcements. 2 Widow Mines. Not bad at all. And this triple Colossus push, we'll see how hard we hit. Yeah, Archons are prioritized. No gases at the 3rd, not yet. Going for mainly Zealot reinforcements and Zealot warpins as the 8 gateways are finishing up. Do we have a Prism? We do. Okay, Prism moving out to harass, actually. Now, we can break this. We have a lot of Phoenixes, and if we pick up and lift every single tank with the Phoenixes, then the ground army can snowball out of control, especially with charge out reinforcements, but it looks like MaxPax is going for a backstab with the Zealots, and then pushing in with his main force, with his main army. Tank shots going off. We don't commit yet, waiting for those Zealots. Zealots are warped in. MaxPax does back off. Let's pull back for now. Going for another warp in into the main base. Clem hyper-fixated here on the main army. SCVs are going down. We deny mining time, and now we collapse here on the main force. Oof. Not quite enough, though. There's a little bit too many Marines. There's too much bio. Prism goes down. Zealots are cleaned up. We get 10 SCV kills, and MaxPax has to retreat. If MaxPax had warped in Zealots with the main army, then maybe he could have broken this, but without those Zealots, he has to respect this. Did we just kill one of our own tanks? Did that just happen? My brain was just processing what happened, and if it's friendly fire, it doesn't show in the unit's lost, fun fact, so there's no dead tank there, but I'm pretty sure we may have just accidentally clicked on our own tank. That is a little bit scary. That is a little bit worrisome. MaxPax is building up. I think, yeah. We did end up losing one of our tanks there. We are pushing in. Phoenixes are going for the lifts, and again, there's only 2 tanks to deal with now. One tank goes down, the other is lifted. And do we have enough to barely break through? And it looks like we do. The Colossus, they do rain down here on the main army. Zealots from behind. Look at how low these Colossus are as well. We barely did break Clem. And now we're going for the kill. We're going for the natural Vikings. They pop out just in time. They can snipe some of these Colossi. Oof. They are going down one after the other. We are running out of ground forces here, but here come the reinforcements. And MaxPax, he has broken the natural base of Clem. Busting into the mineral line. There are boys to be pulled. The Archon does go down. Very nice snipe there from Clem. Does snipe the Archon. But the Zealots are wreaking havoc in the mineral line. 18 SCVs go down. And we're not stopping. We have the Prism behind this. Wave after wave of Zealots. Clem MaxPax backing up for now. Clem looking for the 4th. Doesn't exist. MaxPax still up on workers, going for another Zealot counterattack. Stalkers are getting caught out. But Clem, he's coming back home. He turns back around, has to deal with the Prism. And Clem's mining isn't looking too bad here. I mean, sure, he's down to 48 workers, but he's got 4 orbitals. He's got a lot of mules available. So Clem can recover. MaxPax was pretty committed here. Again, there was no 4th base, there was no additional Robotech or upgrades on the way. +1 did finish, +2 just started. That push was designed to kill, and it didn't. I mean, it almost did. To be fair, like, that was a close hold there from Clem. Being active with the double drop, likewise a Prism, skirting around the edge of the map, making its way towards the main army through the center as well. Clem, he isn't out of the woods yet. As we have Zealots from the north, Zealots from the south, Prism into the main, and that main army pushing in as well. And here comes that warp in. We do have a couple of Widow Mines, but we're busting into the mineral line nonetheless. Prism is picked up, and we collapse on the main army. Yeah, this time no tanks. MaxPax does have to pull back, but really this is a distraction because else they come in from behind. And workers are going down left and right. The economy almost non-existent here for Clem, but he does get the Colossus. And we gotta go. We have to send it. At the same time, Clem pulling back. He's gonna try and defend back at home, but so much damage is already dealt. 29 SCVs. And back at home, MaxPax, he can rebuild. More Archons on the way. Colossus on the horizon as well. Is able to rebuild his army. Zealots, they're finally cleaned up. And Clem, he's down to 29 now, 31 SCVs. I mean, he's got a lot of mules, true, but mules, they're good. They're not that good. Now, what Clem does have is an army. If you look at the army supplies, it is quite heavily in favor of Clem. So with the main push, you could maybe break through. But you can see Clem is thinking further ahead. I'm sure he's thinking, I mean, I've got 4 orbitals. I can still macro out of this. Going for a triple drop. Keeping his main army back at home. He is getting some probe kills. Probes are going down. We save most of the army. Clem moving out towards the south, headed for the 4th base. How the turns have tabled. Can MaxPax keep up? We have some scouting pylons. MaxPax knows. Getting ready. Zelrunback comes in. We're in position. And MaxPax does split up his army. He's got a Colossus towards the south, Colossus towards the north. Go for the EP. Does connect. Clem not liking what he sees. Does retreat. And looks like our players are somewhat stabilizing. I still want to give the edge to MaxPax as he's on 66 workers. Clem is building back up. He's getting there. He'll be consolidating his army, bringing everything together. Oh, never mind. Was going to bring everything together. MaxPax reads that as well. And a lot of positional play here from Clem. Trying to catch MaxPax off guard. But MaxPax is so quick to fan out his zealots. To scout his opponent. Armies are gonna clash. Do retreat. North as well. Solid EMP, and we do get the Archon. Not a bad snipe there from Clem. Snipes the Archon, getting into triple ghost production, plus 3 attackers on the way for Clem. But MaxPax is building up a death bull of an army. He's already got 3 Colossus. He's making a 4th. 4th Colossus on the way. We're going to be heavily reliant here on EMPs and the Vikings. If we can catch a couple of Colossus early on. Meanwhile, MaxPax getting ready for a surround. He's coming in from behind. Clem unawares. Uh-oh. Yeah, we have been setting up here. Clem caught off guard. We dive on the army. We focus on the medevacs. There is no escape. Only 1 medevac left. Vikings do what they can. It looks like they do not get a Colossus. Oof. Yeah, brutal fight there for Clem. Does reinforce. 1 Colossus goes down, but we have 3 more. We have so many. Plenty of Colossus here to work with. Mine Shot's baited out. Zelrunback going for a counterattack. Hits the mineral line. The Viking count looking solid though. Looks like we force back the army once again. Oh. Yeah, Zealots actually come back from behind. Yeah, they ignore the mineral line. They come in. They collapse on the army. And once again, MaxPax forces Clem back. We bleed out a lot of ghosts there. A lot of Vikings. That was a brutal fight. And we still deny mining at the 3rd. So many ghosts going down. MaxPax, he still maintains his economic lead. Still has 3 Colossus up and running. That Viking count is not what it once was. Oh, as we bleed out another Viking. We're down to 1. 1 Viking left. There are so many Archons. Do land 1 EMP. We need to land the others. So far, not bad on the Archons, but the Colossus, they still rain down behind the army. Nova goes off. Ooh, does connect. And Clemmy's corner, there's no escaping this. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take the series 2-0, getting his revenge and advancing on into the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. A very different approach this time from MaxPax. Very different. Going for Stargate openers every game in this best of 3 as opposed to what we saw in the best of 5 finals earlier. It's a very different approach here from MaxPax. Whew. And with that, he was able to snowball out of control. Again, it was a very close defense earlier when MaxPax moved out with his initial 3 Colossus timing on 3 bases. I was very impressed that Clem was able to survive that. I thought he would die then and there. But that was also MaxPax gaining momentum, and we've been here before where MaxPax, he did enough damage to just maintain map control. He was able to get his economy up and running, able to have that economic lead over Clem, maintain it more importantly, and with that, just snowball out of control. GG. GG, well played. Clem will be bowing out of ESL Open Cup Americas, and now we're getting ready for the grand finals. Unfortunately, again, we only had one semifinals match available to us, and we're going to be diving into the grand finals here of ESL Open Cup Americas 229. It's going to be a finals between MaxPax and Solar in a best of 5. Let's go.